think. So here we all are. Hopefully we've now got our wits sharpened and ready to go. Thank you everyone for coming and supporting us tonight. I can see a lot of usual suspects here and a lot of new faces too, so that's nice. And very pleased to welcome His Excellency and Lady Lorimer this evening. Thank you both for joining us. So I'm Roz, the Director looking after fundraising for the Rob Vine Fund. So I'm often asked, how much money does the Rob Vine Fund need a year? Well, I've never really known the answer to that, because all I know is as fast as I raise it, they spend it. So usually at this point I have a glamorous assistant to help me with something. Tonight's no exception, as I'm going to ask Dr. David Stevens, another director of the Rob Vine Fund and tonight's glamorous assistant, to give you a very brief outline of how much we do need and where the money goes. So over to you.
Thanks, Ross. You wouldn't believe how short this presentation is going to be, because on your table you've got all the details. Thank you. Having said that, in 2020-21, when the COVID hit us, the Rob Vine Fund lost £150,000 in 2 years because there were no fundraising, there was no motorsport, no people collecting anything, and it just went on and on and on. Fortunately, our reserves managed to cover that, and here we are now with another motorsport season starting. So in answer to your questions, there are many expenses that we have to pay on a regular basis, whether we're covering motorsport or not. For instance, we spend £10,000 a year at least on insurance for management liability, employer liability, public products liability, ambulance insurance, medical malpractice, etc., etc. And that's just 10 grand. So in 2020 and 21, that was money we spent and got no return. And that's why we have to rely on amazing people. When I say people, I just mean Ros Gale. Because, quite frankly, without her fundraising abilities, we would have diddly squat in our bank, I'm afraid. As far as Hog Motorsport is concerned, which is the 3 ambulances and by 20 unpaid volunteers, we cover 135 event sessions every year. So that's TT, Manx Grand Prix, all the rallies, Andreas Racing Association, all the stock car meetings, all the Enduro meetings, etc. And it cost about £25,000 for Hog Motorsport to do all that. As far as the rest of the expenses are concerned for Rob Vine Fund, we spend, and these are figures just straight off the top of my head, and if anybody is from Crow, our auditors, please don't record it, it's about £45,000. We rely on Ros to raise all that money, and that's why, hopefully tonight, all the £10 that you're going to put in those envelopes on the table will make a difference. But as far as I'm concerned, the difference for me is that tonight we have made everybody very, very more aware of what the Rob Vine Fund does, more and more aware of where we're trying to go as an unpaid organisation in providing help for motorsport on the Isle of Man. So I thank you all for coming. Thank you.
About at the beginning, he wasn't going to turn out okay, but it's all right. So I obviously need to continue with the fundraising. So with that in mind, please look at the Tombola prize list on your tables. There's lots of pens, and we've got 3 recycled envelopes there. Don't mix them up with those clue envelopes. I don't know what they're all about. Please put £10 in there and write your name on it somewhere. And thanks to all the people involved donating prizes for this evening. They've been very generous, and any one of those prizes would be a real treat. Feel free to, when you get a moment, if you want to see any of the prizes, they're all over there. Bobby Sadler's selection box is always a good one to look into. And I'll come round later to collect the envelopes. So I'm no more talking, I'm now going to hand you over to Dave, one of the WASP players, who'll explain what happens next, because I have no clue.
Your Excellency, Lady Lorimer, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to Spain. I'm just giving you an idea how the evening's going to go. There's going to be 3 acts, and at the end of Act 1, you have your meal, and then